One of the things I love about President Donald Trump is he just does it. He just says what needs to be said. He just does what needs to be done. And that's something that we lack here in Canada with our Canadian politicians. It's just the whole political spectrum in Canada is just so weird. It's so bizarre and minor compared to what's going on in America. So, of course, we're all going to be naturally gravitated to what's really happening in the world, like actual things that are going on. And that just doesn't really exist in Canada. Nothing ever gets done. Nothing ever gets properly figured out. But in America, well, you've got what we're going to take a look at now. President Trump just lays out a reporter. You're a terrible reporter is what he says right to their face in the Oval Office. So we're going to freaking take a look at this exchange because, man, I just love it when Trump puts reporters and people in their place. But before we get into it, all I ask, it's free to do, is to just hit like on the video and subscribe to the channel. It does really help more than you could ever imagine. And without further ado, here we go.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to settle this free speech question because you've said that you restored free speech in America.
Yeah.
Is that free speech including for people who are harshly critical of you, for your political opponents, for people who say things you don't like?
I've become immune to it.
You unfairly?
I've become immune to it. There's never been a person that's had more unfair publicity than me, and that's why your network paid me $15 million or $16 million, I believe, to be exact, George Slopadopoulos, and that's why CBS paid me a lot of money too, and that's why I sued the New York Times 2 days ago for a lot of money. Because I'm winning. I mean, I'm winning the cases, and the reason I'm winning is because you're guilty, John. You're guilty. ABC is a terrible network, a very unfair network, and you should be ashamed of yourself. NBC is equally bad. I don't know who's worse. I think they're equally bad. And, you know, for you to stand there and act so innocent and ask me a question like that. But look, you paid a big price because you were dishonest, John. The reason I won that lawsuit was because you were dishonest. You were proven to be dishonest. And so you can't sit back and just say, oh, well, what do you think? You know, like you're some wonderful person. You're not a wonderful person. Frankly, you're a terrible reporter. You know it.
Holy smokes.
Okay.
The media keeps attacking President Trump because of what happened with Jimmy Kimmel, right? And freedom of speech absolutely exists in America more than ever. Freedom of consequences is a real thing, and it's so disgusting and disingenuous that these people are more outraged at what happened to Jimmy Kimmel for a multitude of reasons, right? His ratings were down. What he said was he basically misrepresented the true facts of the assassination. They're more outraged of Jimmy Kimmel getting fired by his own network for crossing a line and basically providing really crap ratings than they are of Charlie Kirk getting literally assassinated for what he was saying. Like, that's a weird misrepresentation of what's going on right now in the world, right?
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about something that's going to reduce our taxes greatly, that's going to hopefully bring some great people into our country. You know, as you know, right now nobody's coming in because we've succeeded in closing. We've closed the border very successfully. I think you will agree. We had nobody come in for the last few months. I mean, it was actually said zero. Even I can't believe zero, but the numbers are put out by very impartial people or people that have a tendency to be on the left. And they actually said for the last 3 months, nobody came in. We have a very strong border. It's a closed border. People are coming into our country, but they're coming in legally. It's a beautiful thing to watch. But we are doing something where rather than coming into the border, 25 million people came into our country during Biden. One of the saddest things, the worst thing. Look, he was horrible in inflation. He was horrible in just about everything you could be. I don't think he was good on. He wasn't even fair on anything. It was a horrible administration. He was the worst president in the history of our country, and we have to mop it up. The hardest thing that we have to do is to get rid of the criminals that he allowed into our country from prisons, from mental institutions, gang members, drug dealers. And we're getting them out, and we're getting them out fast, and we're making America safe again. Great again, but we're making America safe again. And it's an honor to do it. But this is something, this is an unforced error. What they've done is just an unforced error. So I'm going to ask Howard to speak. Howard's done a fantastic job, as you know, Secretary of Commerce. And I'm going to ask Howard and Will, could you just give a quick description of what we're doing and what we're signing, et cetera? And
yes, sir.
I will do that. So
we have 2 items for your attention today, sir. A major focus of your administration has been shifting the conversation and shifting the policy dynamics around the issue of immigration, closing the border, preventing illegal immigration, but also, as is the case with the executive order in front of you, opening new pathways for truly extraordinary people to come contribute to America instead of taking away from it. So this executive order is entitled the Gold Card. It will set up a new pathway, a new visa pathway for foreigners of extraordinary ability who are committed to supporting the United States for a payment of $1 million to the U.S. Treasury, or if a corporation is sponsoring them, $2 million by that corporation, and that will give them access to expedited visa treatment as part of this new Gold Card program.
And one of the biggest problems we have is that people, they go to the best schools and they do great and they get great marks, and then they're thrown out of the country. You're not allowed to stay. This way, a corporation will be able, sort of like a signing bonus in baseball or football, a corporation will be able to get them to stay in the country. And I think it's going to be tremendously successful. How?
There you go. You can pay to play in America. That's pretty freaking phenomenal. I think I like that. $1 million price tag. That's interesting.
But I asked him about different cities. He said St. Louis is tough. He sort of stops at many of them. New Orleans. We have to save New Orleans.
Mr. President, when are you going to get
We're going to be going into New York, too. Yeah.
Mr. President,
and we're going to be going in quiet. You're really obnoxious.
I'm not obnoxious, but I'm trying to ask you, what about your plans?
That's a scary thing to be on the receiving end of. Oh my goodness. When the president of the United States tells you to be quiet, chances are you should probably shut up and be quiet.
You are really obnoxious.
I'm not obnoxious, but I am asking, what are your plans for Memphis? Many people.
I'm not going to talk to you until I call on you.
What are your plans
So,
for Memphis?
who else? Yeah, go ahead.
This is one of the big fundamental differences that is going on in America versus the rest of the world, right? America is claiming the right to be on top again and respect. And not that America never was on top, but under Biden, you know, things are a little wishy-washy. People took advantage of the states, right? And now you're seeing a whole new level of, I don't want to call it intimidation, because that's not what it is. It's just commanding respect. That's what that is. And Trump is not playing around. And reporters that are trying to take advantage of the situation and bash Trump for their own personal gain, for headlines, for their little viral moment, it's really not going to work. Like, this isn't the first version of Trump where the media can just attack. And then obviously when we saw with Biden, they were respectful, right? The media was like, hey, Joe, how you doing today? Whereas with Trump, you suck. Like, that's what they say to him, right? It's just crazy. It's obnoxious. It actually is disgusting. It's a circus when you see that. So Trump is really putting an end to a lot of things and making America back to a civil country again, right? Deploying the National Guard to places that need that to be done. Ask people how they enjoy it, right? If you're a criminal, then you got something to worry about. But if you're a law-abiding citizen, you don't, right? Crime, poof, getting rid of it. It's awesome. I love to see it. I want to know what you guys think down below in the comments. Again, as a Canadian, seeing this, I like this. This is the stuff I like. What's going on in Canada? It's just so unmotivating. It's the same old song and dance. And so I don't know if we're going to keep covering exclusively American stuff, but would you watch it? If I just posted about Trump stuff now and just shifted away from Canadian stuff, would you guys watch that? Let me know down below. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. See you again. Bye.